Welcome back to another video. Before we begin, let me place the disclaimer. None of this is financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Now, yesterday I had posted a video on GameStop. Today, I will show my love for Koss. Believe it or not, Koss is looking a lot better than GameStop, even though we made lower lows over here compared to this. And let me explain why with a recap of the price action of Koss. So on the daily chart, we're still following the same plan as I posted before. 1, 2, 3. Now this is now a 4, and this is no longer the 4 that we had. And then a 5 up here. After we had this mini run up over here, I had thought that it would be ready for the next run. But of course, wave 4 corrections usually take a long time, as you can see in here. So even though I was skeptical and cautious, I was still bullish because we can't predict price action to the minute. And this is also why it's so important to wait for confirmation of a trend reversal. I did post that there will be a short cooldown period and to mind the gap, because as you can see, when we had this mini run up, there were gaps here. There were gaps here, and gap here, and gap over here. And it created multiple gaps. And we know the likelihood of the gaps being filled is very high, especially with stocks like Koss and GameStop. So with this, obviously it got filled here. This one we had a gap fill over here, and then this one we had the gap fill here. So again, obviously I knew that the gaps had to be filled, but we don't know how long the correction would be. So I did expect wave 4. What I expected was actually a running flat kind of correction, right? So I expected it to be in A, B, and then C move here just to fill the gap. But of course, wave 4, like correction waves, we don't know how long it'll take, and it can always be a combination. So it can be like a double running flat or double zigzag or any kind of combination of that. And essentially, because we had wave 4 breaking down like lower than this, where I had initially had the wave 4, it just meant that this wave 4 did not end here, but in fact it ended over here. So the next update that I posted on the community post was that things are going the right way. Look higher, good momentum but lacking volume and strength for a quick squeeze to the upside. Again, we see that patience is key. So I urge you to check my community posts. I had more posts about Koss, but I want to stop here and make you take a look at what we have right now. I know you may be thinking that this lower low that we have over here, lower compared to this and this, you may be thinking that it's bearish, but when in doubt, zoom out. We did not break this wave 2 low, so this is overall bullish because in a leading diagonal that we have, wave 4, this wave that we have here, it can enter wave 1 territory as long as wave 2 is not broken. Because if we had this wave 4 breaking this wave 2, then it just means that this wave 2 is not done yet. And instead, what we would have is some kind of expanded flat. If wave 2 did not, if this wave, what we have here in this price action, if this was to break through and break lower into wave 2, then all we would say is that this count is wrong and invalid, and in fact what we have is an expanded running flat, or sorry, expanded flat, and wave 2 would be wherever it would terminate at. But anyways, I digress. As long as wave 2 is not broken, then we can anticipate the same move upwards over here. Now, if you take a look at what I had posted and recapped earlier, right? We're looking for volume and strength for a quick squeeze to the upside. So now take a look at what we have. This is increased volume right here. Increased volume in relation to everything else we had here and here, right? And even here. This volume has picked up. And not only that, but you can see that this increased volatility at 9%, down 9%, up 9%, down 5%, down 4.07%, up 5.68%. This is what precedes a squeeze-like move. Just take a look at these previous runs that we had, right? So this 4%, 9%, 3%, 5%, this increased volatility is what ultimately brought us up here with a move of what? 68.41% roughly. Again, if we are taking a look at this, we have 4%, 5%, and then, 3% into ultimately this one candle, which is 9.81%. So obviously what we had in over here, this area, this slow bleed out obviously indicates that there's no movement and there's nothing to anticipate, right? Because we had 1.3%, 0.8%, 1.4%. There's one volatile day of negative 4.7%, but everything else where it's just 1%, 1%, 0.35%, 1%, 1%. These, we know that there's nothing going on, and that's why we were waiting for some kind of catalyst. But again, with this kind of move down, it just shows how bad that the price needed to get shorted, because especially with this previous run up, or two run ups, right? 1 and 2, or 1 and 2, with these run ups, and then this following bleed out, it just shows how badly the shorts wanted the price to break, just to break down. So of course I bought more. Again, as long as wave 4 holds this position and it doesn't break down below this 2, then we're fine. It's super bullish. And that's exactly what I was anticipating. When it fell through past this previous low within this range over here, I bought and bought, because I knew that there's a reason why they're trying to push the price down, and I know that if it's following the price structure, we're gonna get a move up, an extreme move up, preferably or most likely around this area. So again, with the added volume, the volatility, and the previous move up, with the general price structure, this is extremely bullish. Even with the added volatility, you can see that we are making higher lows over here, right? It is making higher lows, and not even that, it is making higher lows here, right? From wave 2 into wave 4, and also here where we have higher low, higher low, higher low over here. And this, especially this that we have right here, you can see similarities for this as well as this right here. This is really bullish, and this is exactly what we need. So as long as we see costs going up with added volatility and volume, we're looking for it to shoot up. So again, to reiterate, if the move we have here does not break this previous wave 2, then we're good for a run up. And additionally, with this added volatility and volume, we know that something behind the scenes is brewing, and this is extremely bullish. And price structure is still respecting this leading diagonal, so this is exactly what I am anticipating. So how long will it take to get there? We don't know, no one knows, but this week there are some good catalysts for a run up. And lastly, my price targets did not change. I'm still expecting a move around this area. If it's more or less this area, it's still fine. You should not try to time or sell at the very tip of the top. You should always sell when it's going up, when there's strong momentum up. Not only because it's easier to fill the order, but it's also you're kind of guaranteed to get that order sold. And again, things are going to plan regardless of the bumps and the setbacks on the way, as in this thing. we are still looking up. So buckle up, and I will see you in the next video.